Grace, mercy, and peace to you from God our Father and our Lord Jesus the Christ. Turn with me, if you would, to the insert to the bulletin, which contains the text, and with that also contains one sheet of prayers. Have you found the prayer that looks something like this? Part of the insert. Okay. I'd like to draw your attention to this sheet for several reasons. The first one is that this is an example of the prayer that we, on a weekly basis, use to praise God and thank Him. And it's interesting, the formula that is here, after each substantive statement, there's a statement by the leader, Lord, in your mercy, and then the congregation says what? Hear our prayer. So let's try that again. Lord, in your mercy,
hear our prayer.
Now, what would you like to have God listen to? What would you like to have God do for you that would require for you or permit you to go to Him and say, Lord, in your mercy,
Hear our prayer.
and what else would you like? Isn't that what we usually think of when we think of prayer? Well, it's interesting to me as I was reading this particular chapter, part of chapter 17, that the prayers haven't changed very much. The pattern of the prayers are basically the same. We find, for instance, in chapter 17, on the way to Jerusalem, he was passing along between Samaria and Galilee, and as he entered the village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance and lifted up their voices, saying, Jesus, have mercy on us. You see the pattern? One of the central aspects of Christian prayer is to recognize that we are relying on Christ's mercy, on God's mercy. And all the way through the Old Testament, using the word hesed, in the New Testament, we find again and again the people of God appealing to God's mercy. Well, what's God's mercy? God's mercy, it can be defined in various ways. The most frequent definition is that it is an unmerited love that God has for us, which spills over into action. Do you get the point? It's an unmerited love that God has for us, which spills over into action. It just doesn't remain in words, it expresses itself in action. And here in this particular chapter 17, we find all of the lepers, as George has already pointed out, we find all of the lepers are festered with these wounds. And they are calling out for God's mercy. Hear us. We need your unmerited love. We need your unearned love to express, in this case, in the action of healing us. And they all went. They all believe. They all have faith. Isn't it interesting? Every one of them had prayer. They had faith. And their faith was asking God to spread not only the good news, the gospel, but to heal them from all sorts of particular diseases. In this case, the dreaded disease of leprosy. But there's more to it. We find all of the disciples all of the lepers praying, as you and I often pray. My hunch is that there isn't a person here who hasn't at one time or another prayed a prayer like this. Lord, in your mercy, I'm struggling with all sorts of problems in my family. I'm struggling with all sorts of issues in my community. I'm struggling with all sorts of issues in myself where I can't handle the life that has been given to me as a gift, where I think in some way or another it is a burden. Again and again, my hunch is that each one of us, whether it's sickness, whether it's some other issue, have prayed the prayer of the lepers. Lord, have mercy on me. I need your unmerited love. I know I don't deserve your love. I need your unmerited love in order for me to even take the next step, or in order for me to even make the appointment with a doctor, in order for me to get together with my family and resolve the issues that are so horrible and eating away in an horrific way at the life that we have as families. So all of us can identify with that prayer. Lord, have mercy. We need your unmerited love. And so the 10 go off as they've been directed. They're doing what God has said to them to do. Remember, faith is really very little unless it's followed and expresses itself in obedience. And so we have the lepers who have been told now to go and show themselves to the priest. They are doing what Christ has asked them to do, and off they are. And on the way, perhaps as a recognition of what they have each done, and perhaps as they recognize not only what they need, but they recognize that they need to follow Christ. And so what happens? They follow Christ's command. But one of them on the way, well, all of them on the way were healed. Every one of them was healed. Every one of them responded in faith and was healed. But now what? One of the lepers looks at himself and says, I'm healed. But what do you do when you find that your prayer has been answered? You see, I'm convinced that we have more difficulty with a prayer that has been answered than with prayers that have not yet been answered. Because when we have actually come right down to it and have acknowledged Christ's command and expressed our obedience and faith, or our faith in obedience, the prayer has been answered, what do? Do we just go about our own business? There's nothing that says that these 9 lepers were bad or that healed lepers were bad. There's nothing that says that when you're praying and the prayer isn't fulfilled, that that's somehow or another an indication that you aren't worth it. No, there's no indication of this in here, but there is an indication that you and I can tell if we are thankful and grateful, if we have faith, we can tell, because if we do have faith, we are in a situation where we can express that and share that with others. But even before we share it with others, even before we acknowledge that we are sinful and need His help, even before all of that, when this leper returns to Jesus, he is singing in praise. He's praising God. He is actually there worshiping Him. And if faith does not fall into worship, what happens? We don't know. But we do know what happens when faith does flow into worship. We do know what happens then, because we are told by Jesus, as He tells the leper, look, your faith has made you well. The fact that your faith has led into the worshipful life of this particular leper tells us that his faith is sound and sound. And it's very difficult at times to recognize that when we ourselves don't even understand how healing has taken place. And so Jesus says to the leper who's there, He says, there's only one of you. Where are the other 9? But even before Jesus asked the question, the leper is already on his knees. Even before we offer a challenge of one another and say to God, what good are you if you can't even help me with this situation? Have you ever prayed that prayer? I've prayed the prayer where I've said to God in so many different ways, God, why are you not doing what I want? What I want is good. What I want is almost perfect. I could run for office with that kind of a CV. Let me get off that subject and get back to the leper. And we find that the leper has given thanks. And then Jesus answered, were not 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner? And He said to him, rise and go your way. Your faith has made you well. Or as other translations have it, your faith has saved you. You see what's interesting here to me, and I hope interesting to you? What's interesting to me is that Jesus somehow or another acknowledges that there are 2 types of salvation. The 9 other lepers were also saved. They were also made well. They had a physical healing. But that wasn't enough. In order for us to have a spiritual healing, which is even more important than physical healings, in order to have a spiritual healing, we need to allow our faith to express itself not only in obedience, but in praise to God and thankfulness. And sometimes we have to thank God even before we know what God is going to do or whether He's going to respond to our prayers. And that's what happens here. But you see the problem that we have in the text and the problem that we have often in Scripture is that it's so difficult for us to acknowledge the most important lesson that we can learn is that everything is in Christ's hands, not in our own. We should put all of our problems into His hands and not our own. And then we need to wait. We need to obey. But haven't you noticed recently, I don't know, Karen and I were comparing notes, so to speak, and we were saying that both of us have realized or recognized in the last few months there's been sort of a new birth of a line that says we should love the gifter, the giver, not just the gifts. Can I say that again since I screwed it up the first time? We should love the giver before we love Him more than we love the gifts. Are you honest with yourself? When I'm honest with myself, there's no question that I want God's gifts before I want Him. I would rather have the gifts that He is capable of giving me than to have a relationship with Him. Somehow it's so difficult to have a relationship with Him. But what does it mean to have a relationship with Him? What does it mean to love the giver more than the gifts? John Piper, and I don't know whether he was talking about his own experience, I believe it was. He was talking about his own experience. And his experience that he was talking about was the fact that when he got engaged to his wife-to-be, at least the first time he got engaged, he was there and he had bought a beautiful diamond ring. And he gave it to her in a romantic setting, and she had for her ring. She looked at it and had diamonds in it, and it was beautiful and it was gold, and she got up from where they were and she ran over to the first table in the restaurant and said, look what I have here, the ring. And then he went on to say that not only did she go there, but she got out her telephone and called her, well, in those days it probably was a wall phone. He called her mother and father and said, hey, you should see this beautiful ring I have. And as this was going on, John Piper thought to himself, but look at him. Is the ring more important than I am? Do you see the connection? It's so easy for us to worship God because He has given us the gifts that we want. But it's so difficult for us to acknowledge the fact that we are more in love with the gifts than we are with Him. And so I want to leave you with a question. The question I want to leave you with, and we'll talk about this in the Holy Spirit issue, but the question I want to leave you with is if heaven were exactly the way you want it to be, exactly, pavement, gold, however you imagine, if heaven, in fact, take about a minute, just close your eyes. I'm not suggesting that you're close to heaven, but I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't think about this. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture, what's heaven like? What's heaven like? Another question. If heaven were exactly the way you picture it, with all its glory, with all its praises, but Christ was not there, would you still want to be in heaven? If heaven were exactly what you want, but Christ wasn't there, would you still want